When filling containers, it's important to remember a couple of things. One, want to make sure that when you fill the containers, want to add the soil to the container, want to make sure that we get the soil about an inch below the top of the container, just in case you need to do hand watering. That way there's water in the container so it doesn't run off. The second thing you want to make sure is that there's no air pockets, so you can just tamp it a little bit to make sure that you reduce the air pockets in the pot. And then you just want to fill all of them in the bed as uniform as you can. Once the containers are filled, we want to make sure that the soil level is about an inch below the top of the container. Get rid of all the air pockets, and then you're ready to water the soil before you start planting. This is how you're going to receive our plants from the nursery. They're going to come in a box. They're covered with plastic. You open the box, and there are different liners in here, CLs, what we call CLs. There's a bundles of 10 plants in here, trees. They'll be ready for planting. You want to make sure that when you take them out of the box, to eliminate any cross-contamination for any pathogens. Just want to make sure that you have a clean area. This is a simple tool that we use for planting. It's a dibbler. It's just a shovel handle with a cone at the end that we use for planting. We could provide the cone. This just gives us a guideline or the depth of for the planting. Once the containers are watered in, we're ready for planting. We use the dibbler. We'll push the dibbler inside. We want to make sure that we use the cone as a guideline to make the hole so we don't make it too deep. And this is typical a two-man job. One person does the holes, does the holes. The second person does the planting, as you can see here. Once we plant, to make sure that the liner is not too deep, and then you press the soil around the base. And then the other person continues to do the holes, and then he continues to plant. So he does the hole, and then the other person does the planting. You want to make sure that the trees are not planted too deep, and then we compress the soil around the base. Once the trees are planted in the container, it's very important that they get water immediately after planting, especially in the summertime when it gets really hot. Irrigation is the most important part of growing a citrus tree. There's two ways you can irrigate. One is with a drip system like the one you see here, which is a half-inch hose with what we call a quarter-inch tubing and a meter, half a gallon meter with a stake. Okay, you want to place it right next to the plant, and this produces about half a gallon per hour. The drip system is the most efficient way to water the plants, but it's also the most expensive because it requires good filtration to prevent the emitters from clogging. You can also do it by hand using a hose with a water breaker to irrigate your plants.